Hey everybody, this is Dr. Josh Hasty.
Hey, Dr. Josh
Inspired
Hasty.
Chiropractic. What?
I said, hey, Dr. Josh Hasty.
Hey Anthony, how are you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. Anthony. This is Dr. Anthony from Absolute Chiropractic.
Dr. Anthony at Absolute Chiropractic up there in Jersey. How's the temperature today? What are you guys around?
I mean, it's actually not, it's nice. It's not too bad. It's like right around 50 right now, I think. I had Maggie at the beach this morning, and she was having a solid time. That's like her favorite thing in the entire world. And she was in the office all day yesterday, so you kind of can't beat that.
That's true. I did see some of your pictures from the office yesterday. You guys were having a blast.
We had a really good time. By the way, I sent you that thing we were just talking about. But yeah, we had a really, yeah, the thing. I sent you the thing. We had a really good time. We were dressed as the Incredibles, and my little princess, my Maggie, my angel, my four-pawed delight was in the office with us all day. And let me tell you, she's got a ton of energy, man. This puppy has been adjusted from about 2 months old, which is awesome. So she never gets sick. She's totally like healthy. She eats well. She gets tons of exercise at the beach, and like she still gets adjusted. So that's what it's all about, right? But she has so much energy. She's so vital, and she's so just like friendly and happy all the time. People comment all the time on the fact that she's just such a happy dog. And so we knew she was going to be like super pumped up to be with all of our practice members. So Friday night, we had our cousin Charlie over as a black lab, my friend's black lab. And we just like, they were working.
Love the name.
Parents were working. So we were like, yeah, we'll take, they both work overnight. So the kid with the dog's going to be by itself. So he said, we'll take Charlie. So they partied and literally pulled an all-nighter. Like literally did not sleep at all night, which means neither did we. And then like, so Saturday, then we went right from that to she played with my parents' dog, who's a 95-pound chocolate lab, who's really dragging her up and down the floor. So she cooked. And then Sunday, we had my sister-in-law's dog, Tuck, over. So by the time we came and then Monday, I took her to the beach. So by the time we got there, she still had so much energy all morning. Then what happened was the afternoon shift, she just zonked out. And she just was like, she just passed out because she was behind. We had a gate at the front desk, so she was up front. So she passed out. She was literally snoring in the middle of the floor. And the afternoon, my team was saying she was just like trying to say hello to people, and it was taking all of her effort to just keep her head lifted.
Oh,
she just couldn't even lift her head anymore. It was awesome. That's what it's about, though, right?
Yeah, man, that's what it's about, having fun times, bringing the family, dogs into the practice so that everybody can have a good time.
Hey, we can pull a segue here. I know we literally just talked about what we were going to talk about, but we can segue into sleep here if that's what you want to chat about, or we can stick it on what else we were talking about.
No, let's talk about sleep. I think that it's great that you brought that up, because if I knew then what I know now about the results that we would be having in our practice, I would have just put up sleep clinic on a sign, and that would have been it. I mean,
it's so true.
Everybody that comes, well, not everybody, nothing's ever everybody, but the majority of people, we actually ask, it's like, hey, how's your sleep going? Because if you came in for a symptom like a pain, we educate you through that. Why do you stay past that and all that? But hey, how's your sleep going? And it's like 9 out of 10, oh, sleeping like a baby. Couldn't think I'd be any better. But it's like, that's what I'm talking about. Good sleep quality, longer. It's easier to fall asleep, deeper sleep when you do. I mean, just for that. I mean, if you don't do chiropractic for any other reason but just getting your sleep on, man, then I would highly recommend getting some chiropractic.
Oh, yeah, man. It's like the number one thing we say after the first adjustment. 80% of the people we speak to, we give them a call the next day. We always follow up. And it's like, hey, I don't know what the heck we did last night, but I just had the best sleep that I had in like 6 months to a year. It's nuts. Because when we think about it, Dr. Josh, and this is something that we always try to educate on, is chiropractic doesn't treat any symptom, right? I mean, you can agree on that. It doesn't treat any symptom. It just simply puts the body in the position in which it's most likely to heal. And because we're designed perfectly, which we are, even you, because we're designed perfectly, when our body's in the proper position, we're designed to heal. Now, here's the question, Dr. Josh. I know you have a good education here, but just to check it, do you think that the body heals more when we're asleep or more when we're awake? When does more healing take place?
Oh, it's while we're asleep. This is the question I ask everybody. It's like,
Yeah,
well, not the question, but it's where I'm going when I ask that question.
yeah,
Because I always segue into, well, you know that you're healing up while you're asleep, right? So you may still have a symptom, whatever it is that they came in writing on their forms. And it's like, but that hasn't been resolved, but their sleep's resolved. It's like, well, you know, you're on your way because not only are we measuring it with technology so we can show you, but two, it's like, hey, while you're sleeping, more healthy cells are being made instead of more sick cells. We're healing, body is recovering. That's when it's happening. I mean, as long as you actually are getting deep sleep.
yeah, absolutely. And it goes vice versa too, right? Like, I mean, and that's the thing I love about chiropractic is that every person's different. Everything's
Is that the thing that you love about chiropractic?
That's one of the things that I love about chiropractic, right? So it's
Okay.
like we could talk about things like blood pressure dropping, but if somebody walks into our office with low blood pressure and we get them adjusted, it's not going to drop any further, you know? It's probably going to come up. So it's all about regulation, the fact that the body is a self-healing, self-replicating organism, self-regulating organism. So if somebody walks into our office and they're like, I have zero energy unless I sleep 6 to 18 hours a night. Like I hit the bed and I'm done for 16 hours a night.
Oh yeah.
Right? And it's like, oh, well, all of a sudden I woke up, I got 8 hours and boom, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, the majority of people that I talk to, they don't sleep more. They're getting the same amount of sleep, or should I say like attempted sleep hours. But when they are asleep, it's so much deeper, more restful. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about a little bit on what's going on inside the body neurologically and what it is that we're hoping to achieve. So I'm going to take that away because I know you're going to come in second and you're going to clean up all the things that I left out. How about that?
Hold on. How long did we say we had for this?
I'm going to wrap this up
Go ahead. I'll
in
be
2
back.
minutes. So neurologically, your body needs to be able to take the day, process the day, go to sleep, and allow some deep cycles to come in for the brain where it's changing brain state. But unfortunately, for a lot of people, you know, they talk about stress at work or they talk about what they ate for dinner. That's a chemical stress. They talk about how they can't just shut off their mind, or maybe they're just not tired. And what we find is that there's a bad neurological cycle happening in their brain stem through the nerves back to the brain and the brain stem, and all of that bad feedback loop is, well, that's exactly what we check every time we're doing an assessment, and that's exactly what we get adjusted when we're doing the chiropractic adjustments. And so our goal is to find those negative feedback loops neurologically, which, I mean, I was prepared for a different topic today, but this one holds just as relevant. I actually printed out, and I don't think that this is going to show up perfectly as if we had a picture on the screen. But what we're seeing here.
It looks beautiful. I can see it perfectly.
Oh, perfect then. So what we're looking at, and I'm going to lower this down in a second, but the colors, white being normal, and then the rest of the colors are variations of the pressure on the nerves that are subluxation, that are causing the body to have a negative feedback loop. So the more colors where they're at, the more intense the color. Well, no wonder, Mrs. Jones, you cannot sleep very well, because when we take a look up here, you have pressure on your brainstem. And what do you think allows your body to compress the day, make sense out of the day and the stresses that you had, and move into deep, restful sleep? That's keeping you from sleeping, Mrs. Jones. Let's get it adjusted. Let's fix it. It'll change your life. Go. What did I leave out?
Changed. Mrs. Jones' life just changed, right?
Mrs. Jones.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So what did I leave out? Help me clean that up.
It's actually, I mean, you did a pretty good job there, Dr. Josh. And we're talking about the top of the neck, and I tried to, I don't know if this is working or not. I'm trying to post this this link here from this article in a journal called PLOS ONE, and it's called "Signals from the Brainstem Sleep-Wake Centers Regulate Behavioral Timing via the Circadian Clock."
Ooh, that's just a mouthful, man.
What the heck does that mean, Dr. Josh? Do you want to know?
Tell me.
So what that means is that the top part of the neck, okay, specifically the brainstem, which is an extension of like the brain that comes down through the atlas. Okay, what happens is that during that brainstem has lots of different centers. What I like to refer to it as, and it's not, we can go in deep into the neurology, but the brainstem controls a lot of adaptation. Okay, which is, when does our heart rate go up? When does it come down? Brainstem, right? Like when does our blood pressure go up, down, etc. When do we fall asleep? When do we wake up? It's all controlled by right there. That's our circadian rhythm, waking up and going to sleep, right? That's our clock, our internal clock. And because the brainstem controls that, if we have pressure, tension, damage, interference on that, what'll happen is it'll irritate and it'll interrupt with our body knowing when it's time to go to sleep and when to stay awake, right? So if we correct the interference there, guess what? The body does better. And as simple as possible, that's how I could put it, right there.
So when you say correct the interference, say that in a different way for everybody else.
In a different way. So here's the deal. There's this wonderful thing called the atlas, this bone there. It surrounds the brainstem. It protects it. It has a major role. Have you ever heard of this guy, Christopher Reeves? You ever heard of him before?
Talk about him all the time.
Talk about him all the time. So Christopher Reeves falls off a horse, breaks the top bone in his neck, and everybody knows after, maybe not everybody, but we just said we don't want to use those blanket terms, but he's paralyzed. Years later, the man dies. Do you know what he dies of? Do you guys talk about that?
Yeah, I talk about it. He died because his body grew crummy, unhealthy, sick cells for the rest of the time from that accident till his death instead of replicating new healthy cells. So he died from trauma that kept his body from regulating and growing new healthy cells.
Absolutely. And if we kind of look at it, the definition there of what he actually died of is he went to the hospital for pneumonia. And because of adaptation, that part of the brain stem controls things like turning on and turning off of the immune system. So what happens is that's a like pathological, oh my gosh, he fractured it, right? It's putting pressure on that brainstem, he's paralyzed. So that's not too hard to imagine. But what we're looking at is through different things that we do in our life, sitting at desks, being born, getting yanked out of mom, right, during birth.
That's intense.
40 to 90 pounds of traction there, Dr. Josh.
Yeah.
What happens is that top bone of the neck can misalign and put tension or pressure on that brainstem, okay, and stop it from functioning, controlling things the way that it should. So if we give a very gentle, specific adjustment to correct that misalignment, it allows the brain to properly be able to control the body, properly be able to control and coordinate the function of the body, and most importantly, you heal.
So when you said remove the interference, what you were really trying to say was adjust a subluxation.
That's actually exactly what I was trying to say.
Okay, just trying to clear that up from earlier. And so where's the costume, Dr. Anthony?
I clicked that by accident.
Where's the costume? Yeah, we were doing costumes. We're doing costumes again today. I don't have mine on yet. I'm actually I'm dressing up as Dr. Anthony Pellegrino for the day.
You're going to need some thick glasses.
Yeah, so that's what we do. And this is how we help people. Now, here's the deal. We could not have helped or saved Christopher Reeves. I mean, this is something that was a tremendous amount of damage, life-changing paralysis. I mean, intense. The man died. He actually lived longer than he should have because of all the health providers that wanted to get notoriety. They were keeping him alive because he was famous. He had a lot of money and they wanted notoriety. But chiropractic isn't even about trying to help or save people like Christopher Reeves. It's about taking that damage that was so severe to the topmost bone in his spine and backing off a little bit, understanding that you don't need break, trauma, paralyzed kind of injuries, but how you sit at work, how you sleep, big traumas like slips and falls, chemical stresses and emotional stresses in the birthing process. These all lead to spine subluxations that go undetected most of the time for years, if not decades. And then you walk in never having your spine checked at 30 or 40 or 50 years old, and you wonder why your neck hurts. And we take an x-ray and we look at your spine and it's degenerated at multiple levels. I mean, come on, if you didn't take care of your teeth, if you didn't brush your teeth on a daily basis, how long until you get a cavity? But yet we never think the spine's going to wear out just because we can't see it. And most people don't educate on it.
Right. Well, I love it.
What are you going to be today? Are you telling people yet?
Actually, we're not telling anybody yet. We're not telling anybody. If I had the rest of the team here, I'd show you the costume. Sarah, there's a costume. Don't you worry. You don't worry. We have a different one tomorrow as well. Our costume today is a little more tame than yesterday because we have a doctor's report, and we're going to be telling people, going over their findings, their recommendations, looking at the status of their current spine. And I didn't really want to be wearing fake muscles and tights while doing that.
You should. You should.
We definitely want
Slam
to
into it.
let people know this is a serious thing, right? And just because we have a good time, we definitely want to not have people be distracted by my amazing workout routine. I'm gonna actually pay attention to what their spine looks like. So
It's amazing.
tone it down a little bit, but we'll be back at Beam and Goofy again tomorrow.
And when you say go over recommendations, man, I love telling people exactly what to expect. We talk about how long and how many visits and what's the plan for you and what's that look like.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a plan for your health and you're just going about it haphazard, or you have a chiropractor that's doing that way, hey, come back when you hurt kind of model. Well, this is why results don't happen. This is why it's basically an expensive Advil. And we want to get past that and get true correction so that we can really have the impact that your body deserves. Right? Am I right?
I'm right. I mean, you're right.
You're right too.
You're right. So, hey, I'm going to go out. We're going to go bring lunch out to a hospital. We're going to take it to a local hospital and talk with some of the nurses and social workers there. Super excited about. We got that coming up in a couple minutes, so I'm going to have to jump off the line here pretty soon because
you go live while you're in there.
What's that?
You go live and let people see what your talk is.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be
I
pretty
have
cool.
one at an integrated medical office next week. I was going to do that there.
Are you
So
going to wear a body cam? Like in The Incredibles, the suit cam? By the way, we're having a costume contest here in the office, and Sarah, who asked me about my costume, I'm pretty sure she's in the lead right now. Her and her son, the cutest costume.
Really?
He was a puppy, and Maggie went nuts when he walked in. Oh my! She licked his face right away. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. I melted.
I looked at all your pictures that you guys got posted yesterday. Man, you guys had some great pictures.
There were some good ones, right?
Yeah, we're doing the same. I mean, in our office, well, this is because you and I talked about it.
Yeah.
But you stole my idea because it was a good idea. And we're doing the same costume. Yeah. Well, not the photo booth, but the costume contest with the masks and to just stimulate people to have a good time while they're here.
Yeah.
And man, it was awesome. I was a Ronnie Man yesterday. I was eaten by two zombies.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, you had a good costume contest. I'm sure we stole that idea, but we had a full photo booth set up, so we just made your idea better. So do that next time.
So on that, next Tuesday, man.
Hey, see you next Tuesday. All right, and I'll set up a full photo booth, and we'll just do it during the live. It'll be awesome.
Awesome. All right, I appreciate all you guys. If you ever need some help, reach out. We'll point you in the right direction. Bye, y'all.